Right, so rewired it all. I took the loom out.
Let's say what car it is.
Oh, sorry, 1932, I think. Might be 1930. Pierce arrow, straight 8. As the owner always says, it's ever so rare, but this actually is very rare.
Yeah.
It's right-hand drive Pierce arrow, which they didn't make. I'm not sure how many, but they didn't make many of them. I think it was South African. So the wiring was terrible. It's been converted to a modern style of wiring, yeah?
Yeah.
I'd say modern, 60s, 50s, 60s. English style, not American style. So you've got a voltage regulator and a generator, which has been converted to 12 volt.
Okay.
So basically I took the old wiring loom out, and all I really wanted to do was check the charging system, how it was wired.
Yeah.
Which is all generic and it should be basic, but people do quirky things. So as it turned out, it was all okay.
Yeah.
So your generator's over there. Only 2 wires come out of it, charge wire and a field core wire.
Okay.
So they come up to your voltage regulator there. And everything else, that's a Lucas fuse box, it's a German horn relay, you know, all sorts of weird and wonderful bits and pieces on it. So when I stripped the old loom out, I had all the original cloth wires,
Yeah.
which is what Gordon wanted. So all of this is all done in cloth wire. The runs from the front to the back, as you can see there, look, there's no need for them to be in cloth, it doesn't matter, because they're inside the loom. Done the run from there to there, then you have to work out what goes up into the ignition. Then you've got a power lead that comes off the starter motor, yeah, goes to the ammeter, out the ammeter, to the ignition switch, out of the ignition switch to the voltage regulator. That's your main feed. Then you jump off your voltage regulator to come down to your fuse box, out your fuse box to your systems.
Yeah.
So the horn's fused, the lights are fused, indicators are fused, but that all comes off of here.
Okay.
So that's basically your charging circuit. That has a power out that goes to the fuse box, and then out of the fuse box powers everything else up, so it's fuse system.
Yeah.
Had to run a wire over to the fuel pump that side, underneath, so that's done. Lights at the back, a wiring run all the way down this side of the car, but then split it and put it into the cloth covered wires.
Okay.
So it all looks original. So the way it works, being an American system, is you've got they're all just side lamps, yeah?
Yeah.
Then you have your brakes, brake lights.
Yeah.
So you've got those. The right hand indicator on, yeah?
Yeah.
So when you put your foot on the brakes, that indicator stays on and only that brake lamp comes on.
Yeah.
And the other way round. So that's how that works. Yeah?
Yeah.
Charging system didn't charge first of all, but then I realised that I needed to flash the voltage regulator because that polarises the system to work negative or positive earth.
Yeah.
So all the rear lights working, front headlamps all good, but that was a pain in the arse. I had to take all the headlamps off because the wires come up under the front wing and they come up and go through this bracket here, but it's a real convoluted way of running the wires, you can't feed them through.
Okay.
So I had to take this off the crossbar with both the headlamps, put that in a vise and feed all the wires through and build the whole lot and then fit it back on again. Converted the headlamp bulbs to halogen.
Yeah.
So that's got halogen bulbs in now. Reset the ignition timing because that was slightly out. You've got a foot starter. The reason I've got the floor out is because there's an inspection plate down there and that's your timing marks.
Okay.
So it's not on the front of the engine, it's on the flywheel. So I had to rip the floor back out, do that, set the timing, just to make sure it was okay, and it was quite a way out. So you just ignition on and then hit your start button. So that's your charge light there, look. Give it a little rev. charging. Yeah, so you've got lights, panel lights, it's all working. The only thing we couldn't wire up with this because it's basically added. So all I've got to do is I've got to move over that dip switch button because when you put your foot on the clutch it was hitting it.
Yeah.
So I've got to move it over by a couple of inches, which means drilling a new hole in the floor. And I've got to get an exhaust box for it because that's blowing.
What would you say the most challenging part of this whole car rewires was?
Probably trying to make everything look neat. That's half the battle with it. You can run wires wherever, but you've got to, because like the wires that come out, and you've got wires that come. So as I say, you've got your main power feeder there. So that's position B on your voltage regulator. So that's come from the battery source, which is the starter motor. Then it goes from there to the ammeter, as I said, out of the ammeter to the ignition switch, out of the ignition switch to here. Okay?
Yeah.
So that isn't live, those two are connected, those two. So as soon as you turn the ignition on, that powers up the voltage regulator, but that isn't powering the voltage regulator, if that makes sense. It is a power source, but when the car revs and charges, yeah, D and F, which is that one and that one, yeah, they put charge back into the battery,
yeah,
on a relay. So then from there you've got power down to your fuses. So from there it's all right saying we've got power out to all the circuits. You then got to go back up to there,
yeah,
and connect all that lot to switches, then out of there and then back down here to feed everything else. So you're working from there to there to there, back out of there, back up to there, and then back out again.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a fiddly old job, but yeah, that's probably the hardest bit of it.
Looks neat though.
Yeah, it's neat enough, yeah. I mean, originally they wouldn't have been this covered. Who knows what they were originally. That's where the original coil went, so I've moved it back up to there instead of down on the side of the engine there. Straightened out all of these fuel lines because they were all over the shop. It is a basic wiring system. There's nothing complicated about it, but you just got to work out in your head. When you build it or you leave all your tails long,
yeah,
then you have to take the loom out, then loom tape it,
yeah,
then put it back in with all your tails long, and then connect everything back up with all the right terminals on the ends.
yeah.
So it's a bit of a, you can't just run a wire and connect it because you don't know where your angles are and all of that sort of stuff, you know. So these are probably left sort of 6 inches long. Then I can cut them and fit them, you know.
Yeah.
So you can't sort of put it together and connect things as you're going. You've got to run it all with long tails, take it all back out the car, loom tape it all back up, fit it back in the car, then cut all your tails to where you want them to be.
Considering where the wires come through, how did you decide where to put the fuse box? 'Cause that's one of the things you were thinking of. Wasn't
Well, this was over there. This was up there.
Yeah.
At an angle. I think it was at an angle. So the coil was over there, as I say. So I just thought the closer you can fit these together near each other,
Yeah.
the better it'll be. I was going to put that inside the car first of all, but then when I held it up in there, it's just so awkward to get all the, because there's no room under there as such.
Yeah.
So I just thought, no, leave them on the bulkhead and that'll be fine. So you could have put them that side, you could have put them this side. It makes no difference where you put them.
Yeah.
It's just there was a load of holes under here. There's holes everywhere. But I thought, no, I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
And if you put one to the side and one, but you don't want one sort of over there. You want a close proximity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was how we worked that one out. Horn relay. I mean, you can get 3-wire horn relays, 4-wire horn relays, blah 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 blah. It goes on and on, but it's the noisiest horn in the world. Yeah, so that's
You'd be pleased with it though.
yeah, I like wiring. I don't mind doing it. People are generally quite frightened of it, but I can see it in my mind.
Yeah, we know that. I guess in some ways it's quite rewarding because it's a nice aesthetic. It looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, you could have made that. Looking at it in hindsight, look, I could have moved that up a little bit, that down a little bit to get those loops nicer. But it's done. You know, it's just what it is. You've got to sometimes just work with what you got.
So is this the last PS arrow for a while?
No.
No.
There's one coming this week from Spain. I believe he's bought another 2 Pierce arrows and a Mark 9 Jaguar, they're nice cars, Mark 9s. But why the hell you need another 2 Pierce arrows? Who knows? But there you go.
So buy one get one free.
Yeah. The market's just dead at the moment.
What's causing that, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe people are frightened of the state of the economy, or who knows. It always goes in ups and downs of classic cars. I know there's that Chinese bloke paid 10 million quid for a 250 GTO Ferrari, and like 3 years later, obviously it's worth money, but it's like 2 million, not 10 million, you know. So it just goes up and down. Yeah, all good.
Onwards and upwards then.
Yep.